Hey,
It's Shira kitkat on No Limits to Ride channel. So excited to have you here.
thank you for having me. Always
Yeah,
happy.
you're one of the girls I wanted to interview. I know I gave Nelson like a whole bunch more. So I just wanted to begin by asking you, how did your EEC journey begin and how long have you been riding EEC?
So I've been riding EUC specifically since I started off in 2021. So
Mhm.
I bought my first EUC. I put it in quotations because it wasn't really functioning. I took it to get fixed and then I never got it back. So I
Mhm.
bought my first one then. I was able to ride, but I wasn't really doing anything with it. And then I got an 18XL after that in about May of 2022. And I was really enjoying it. I was riding downtown, I was riding uptown, I was riding everywhere pretty much because I felt like I had a limited range on it. And I discovered that I needed a little bit more. So then I upgraded to a Sherman Max later, or sorry, not a Sherman Max, a Sherman OG V3
Mhm.
later on in the year in about September of 2022. And that was awesome. Everything was great. I was riding that till about 2023. Then I had my accident in 2023 of April, and then I wasn't riding anything because I couldn't walk. Um, and then after that, I got a Sherman S, and I've been
Mhm.
very, very happy with that. And then after that, after that, I got a Master, and I got an Apex, and then I got an M10 because you have to have one of like every category. So that is when I started riding. That's kind of a little bit about the journey, not so much in the details, but yeah.
So how many wheels do you say you have now in your house?
Um, Much to my parents' dismay, I have my Sherman S, I have my M10, I have my Master, I have my Apex, I have my Ripple. So I guess if you count eSkate, then I have 5 devices.
Oh yeah.
So
And we're just gonna say hi real quick to Liv and Karen. Thank you, ladies, for being here. Karen
hello,
said you're her favorite writer.
yeah, Toronto in the house.
Yeah. So did you start out on an e-skate before you went to EUC, or did you do EUC and
No,
then
I
e-skate?
started on a scooter. I started on a 9 bot. Um,
Okay.
so like many people, I started on the 9 bot and then I hurt myself on the 9 bot, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep going on this. So I couldn't ride scooter because my wrists weren't able to take the vibration.
Mhm.
So then I had to switch over to something hands free. You
Yeah.
know, so that's the logical progression of things, right?
Yeah.
Just full send right into something more dangerous.
And how going back to your accident, how did that happen? How long was your recovery time? Has that been your worst accident on EC?
Well, it's been my second crash. I mean, no, wait, no. I mean, yes. Okay, so it's been my third crash. I put in quotations crash because they don't all feel the same. Some of them are worse than others. I cut out a 14D when I first started riding. That was the learner wheel. I cut that out. I was low battery and I was listening to the please decelerate for the entire ride. So
Mhm.
no one told me about the beeps, by the way. So I had no idea. So I kind of felt the tilt and then I Superman slid. So that was when I first started riding. And then I had a kind of accident on my Sherman OG.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess all of my accidents were on my Sherman OG. But, anyways, where a car kind of went into me and I felt like I was getting sucked in by the car. And so I caught a wobble and then I slid. But that wasn't bad. I didn't really have any repercussions. My major accident, though, that was April of 2023. It's where I had my surgery after that.
Mhm.
But that was because I tried to carve out of the way of a manhole cover. And in doing so, I hit the lip of the manhole cover because I didn't really quite make it that far.
Mm.
And then I was popped off my wheel. I landed back on my wheel, and my legs were off to the side. I couldn't find the pedals again, and then I kind of wobble, 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 slammed into the ground, going about 35 miles an hour ish or 60 kilometers an hour ish. So I don't really know how fast I was going because I was slowing down, but I know that I was going fair speed. But yeah, immediately something was off and broken and whatever, and that was that. I had to be non-weight bearing for 2.5, 3 months after that. So I couldn't put any weight down. I was on crutches and on one of those like leg scooter things. And then after that, I had to learn how to walk again, which sucked. And then I kind of went straight back into riding and stuff like that, and preparing and all that stuff, because I was gonna race before then, but then everything was kind of put on delay. So it was about 4 or 5 months until I was properly riding, because about April to about September, because you saw me at Amped, right? I wanted to race at Amped, and everyone was like, she's not racing, she's in a boot, don't let her do that. Which, granted, thank you, I really appreciate you not letting me race. Now looking back, I was dumb as bricks. But so that was April to September, so that's a bunch of months that I had to wait. And then I was racing at ABS. That was my first race after that. So realistically, hi Brett.
We got Vanessa that popped in.
Yeah, hey.
We heard this happen on a group voice call.
Yeah. I mean, our friend Diana had her accident literally a week before mine.
Yeah, I remember her accident. Was that the one with her? Oh my gosh, that's
yeah,
so
that
scary.
was the twisty. Yeah.
That's scary.
So we decided that Wednesdays were cursed for our track night. So then the year after, we decided to host them on Tuesdays because both of us had a problem on Wednesdays. But yeah, it was not a fun time recovering from that and trying to get myself back on the wheel after. Yeah, even now to this day, I still have like a lot of nerves and anxiety about riding alone, about like.
Oh, we lost Shira. Oh no. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure what happened.
We wait for her. She's going to come.
I'm like, oh no. Come back, Shira.
Okay, she is here again. She is here again.
Oops. Hello.
We lost you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you that. When did the itch for racing begin? Like, when did you feel like, hey, I need to start racing, I want to do this?
Like kind of started getting on the track as a joke, to be honest. Like,
oh,
not again. Oh, hello. Okay, cool.
Are you getting work calls? Brett thinks you're getting work calls. He said mute your calls.
No, I don't think so. Every day I get calls for the next day or whatever, because supply teaching. So I kind of have to wait for them to call me. But no, this seems to be my internet is just bugging out. But yeah, so I kind of started getting on the track as a joke, because I was like, hey, I want to see if I can do this, because it looks like fun. Everyone else is having fun. I want to be like in on it, you know? So I didn't want to just watch, because I was enjoying hanging out with everyone, but I didn't really try. And then a few weeks before my accident happened, I was kind of just like really getting into it. Like I was enjoying it. I felt like I was having fun. I was getting to push myself a little bit, you know? And then after the accident happened, I was like, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta just try. I gotta actually put myself out there and experience this, because I was enjoying the community and I was enjoying the people. And it felt like racing was just another way to spend time with these wonderful people.
Yeah.
So I really do enjoy racing, but my heart is with the people, and I get to hang out with my friends and do something really fun. Like it's a double whammy. It's great.
And you get to travel to all these like fun places.
Yeah. It's honestly, my therapist would think I'm insane, because I refused to go on family vacations because I didn't like flying. I didn't like leaving the house. I didn't like putting myself out there. And then all of a sudden I flew by myself to New York for Electrify. I planned it. I did it. I went. It was great.
Yeah. So how was your first race at ABS? Like, how did you feel? Like, how did you do? Were you happy with like how your first race went?
Well, I came dead last by a lot, like a lot. And honestly, it made me realize that there's a huge gap between what I think I am or what I want to be. And it's just like getting to that, closing that gap, like it kind of felt impossible in that moment because I was so far behind everyone else. But everyone kept encouraging me and kept telling me, you got this. It was just your first race. Hell, you were just coming out of an injury, whatever. Like that, I felt like it was like excuses, but now looking back, it's encouragement, right?
Yeah.
So it was something that I had to put my anxiety and my fears and my all of those negative thoughts like on the back burner. I had to shut them up pretty much and just be like, keep going. You're doing fine. You're doing great. You're doing great for where you're at, and it's okay if you're a little bit slower, but you're showing up and you're trying. And I keep having to treat myself like I would treat my students, pretty much, and just encourage them no matter what.
And I think it's just something that I think a lot of women resonate with racing. It's just that there's so many people have been doing this for so long. So when the new ones come in, because we're just thrown in like a pro category with everyone, we feel that pressure to perform well and to come out at least in the top 5. And then when you're last, you're like, oh my gosh, like I did horrible. But you know, like Karen just said, your track improvement has been wild coming back from that injury, which I have also seen your progression. Like your acceleration off the starts is just amazing. Like you're just like 1, 2, 3, go, and you're just out, you're gone. And I'm like, look at her go.
Honestly, that's something I've been working on though, because it's getting that and past the initial wobble at the start. And I even noticed that for TEF1 recently, because it was just in my heat. I was at the back because my qualifying time was slower than everyone else's. But then for the start, I'm just like, go.
Yeah.
I pretty much gunned it as much as I could. And I was able to gain, I mean, Amber was 2 places ahead or 1 place ahead. I don't really remember. But there was such an amount of space. I was able to slot myself right in front of her. So that was my little win, even though, like, you know, it doesn't mean much, but I'm able to pass people at the start. And I've proven that at this TEF. I've proven that at the previous TEF. I proved that, I mean, ESkateCon, I didn't come last. So, like, I'm doing pretty good. And I have to recognize the fact that I have some strengths, I have some weaknesses, and that's okay. I've got some great mentors. I've got amazing people to learn from. So, yeah.
Yes, Liv says the only person you need to prove yourself to is yourself, which is she is absolutely right. It's also very scary passing people when you're going high speeds because you don't know if you're going to hit your friend or what they're going to do. So you start second guessing everything like, is this safe? Can I do this safely? You know, so I totally understand that. So how many races have you done since your first one?
Oh dear. So that's actually a few. I have to use my fingers to count. Don't mind me. Okay, so AVS, mini games, ride 1 race, mini games number 2, mini games number 3.
Don't forget the dirt races you've done.
Yeah, Quebec, Wheel Life Rally, Amped, ESkateCon. I know I'm missing a few. Wait, TEF1. So that's 11, I think. 11.
That's really impressive, Shira. You just do it. You're just like, I'm going to do all of them. As much as I can, I'm going to do it.
I mean, I have a great excuse. I live at home with my parents still. So I'm able to do that. Not everyone has that luxury, and I totally understand. And when I move out, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to cut a lot of hobbies and fun out of my life.
We'll definitely get into that a little bit more later. But I did want to ask you, like, do you feel that you have progressed as both a writer and a racer?
Yes, I definitely see the progression, and I definitely see the skills that I have gained. I'm big on nitpicking, so I definitely see a lot more negative than positive, but I know for a fact based on the videos that I've posted. That's why I post so much on Instagram. It's not for you. I mean, it is for you guys, but it's also for me, so I can actually see my progression like linearly, because otherwise it's just like it's it's gone. It's out of my brain. I don't recognize it as growth, right? So
Mhm.
I really like I see the fact that my starts are good. I see the fact that my street riding has improved my awareness of other people. Brett will say that I am the least aware person in on the planet, which is true, but I've gotten better. I can feel when someone's coming up behind me now. It's
Yeah.
just yeah, it's not all there. So like it's something that I definitely have had to work on as a person and as a rider and whatever. Just knowing where I am in space and being comfortable with taking up the amount of space, like knowing that my shoulders are the same as the pedals, right?
Mhm.
So that I don't clip anything, either a berm or a car or a sidewalk or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just something that I've had to really work on because it's not one of my strong suits. Um, but my speed, I mean, I've always really had the speed down. That's something, that's why it's Speedy Kit Kat. I mean, it's also because that was my cat's name.
Mhm.
Also just because I do like going fast. I happen to like going fast in a straight line. I also am learning to love curves. It's all just progression, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and Brett just said you should see her improvement in the past few weeks. I truly believe that because every time I see you get on the track, you are always just improving, and I'm really proud of you. I'm proud to watch you race and see you, get better and better. Um, but going back to what you were saying about like trying to be aware, I think it's so much easier when you're riding with people you know versus people you don't know. Because like
Yeah.
I went to like Friday Night Ride and like Live Grace. Like a couple of my friends were there, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just follow them because I know how they ride. And the only way I got close into an accident was because like someone on a bike was close to hitting me or something like that. So it's like when your friends are riding with you, they know how you ride, they know what to look out for. I
Yeah.
think it's much easier.
It definitely is. When people are predictable, even when racing, it's so much better when people are predictable. Because
Mhm.
there's some racers that you just it goes back to the whole passing thing because like it's just you can't get by them if they're going erratically. But sometimes people are going erratically in a predictable way, so it's just having to gauge which is that person. Because we've got one friend in Toronto, he's constantly carving, constantly moving around, but I know where he's going because I've ridden with him enough, and he's predictable.
Mhm.
It's just it really varies on the situation.
Yes, I agree. So I wanted to ask you, what does it take to become a racer? Like for someone who's new getting into this.
Hard work. That's what I'm learning. I'm learning that I've had to start working out for the first time in my life.
Mhm.
It's partially because I'm getting older, of course, right? I'm pushing 30 this year. Hey, yay.
Yay, the big 3-0.
That'll be fun. But yeah, so it's just working out and maintaining that routine, working on the stamina because these races are only getting longer. There are some guys who are just like, let's do 10 lap races. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah, we're not there yet. The guys are.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Let them do that. That's why I'm pushing so hard for a women's category or a sportsman category or whatever because I'm not up there with the pros. I know where I'm at. That's fine. But yeah, no, it's just you have to work out. You have to do all that if you want to be an athlete. If you want to treat yourself like an athlete, you got to act like an athlete. There's no getting around it. Like you can only pussyfoot around it for so long that it just like it starts to catch up with you and you wonder why everyone else is improving and you're not. So it's
Yes,
yeah.
I always say that too. I'm like, especially getting your body, because, impact, right? Like, you just got to prepare yourself for impact. And I feel like if you're building your body up and getting ready for that, your recovery time will be a lot faster, or you might not break any bones. So it's like you have to train like an athlete. You want to be an athlete, you have to train, you have to eat healthy. I see a lot of people who are like some of the top athletes, they don't even drink. They don't drink, they don't smoke. Like, they're like, no thanks. I need to keep myself in shape, my mind in shape. Um, so yeah, hi everyone. Hi Celeste. Hi Crying Hippie. Hi Turbo. We have a few people coming in. Crying Hippie says Maribel is tough competition. Yes,
She
we all
is
know that.
very tough competition.
I think
She's very
Celeste,
intimidating, but she's wonderful.
yes, Celeste and Christina are like in her category of pro, I think, because Christina
Also,
Clark is doing,
Eva is
she's
wonderful.
fast. Yeah, Celeste and Christina Clark are like so fast.
Hmm.
Um, so I wanted to ask you, like, well, I think we discussed this a bit, but like what training do you put in to prepare you for a race? Like, so leading up to a race, what do you start to do more of?
So one of my biggest issues is cardio.
Mhm.
I've got asthma, like working out induced asthma mostly, but also pollen induced asthma. So as
Mhm.
soon as I like start to do anything like stamina or endurance wise, I'm just like dying.
Oh, no.
So I have to work on my cardio before things. So I'm normally doing I was doing, let's be real. I've gone down to like twice a week now. But I was doing cardio like 3 times a week, and I was lifting and doing like squats and stuff like that, and biking as well. All of this in my basement, not outside because
Mhm.
whatever. But yeah, I was doing all that like anywhere from 2 to 4 times a week at most, and it was intense. It was a lot. The thing is, I actually got to the race and I discovered that it's not just the working out that you have to do, because the muscles that you use while working out are not necessarily the muscles that you'll be using while riding. It's very different. So it's just more of the stabilizing stuff. So then I realized I just need to be riding more,
Mhm.
which is a little bit hard to do because Toronto, its weather is so unpredictable. We've had so much rain this year. It's not great. And then it's also been quite cold, like for May
Mhm.
and June as well. So like our peak training months, like May, April, June, whatever, like they've all just been kind of like shot just because of weather a little bit. So it's really hard to get out there.
Yeah, I tell a lot of people that I feel like some of the best racers are the ones that get to ride a lot and put a
Mhm.
lot of miles on their wheel. But yes, unless you live in California where it's sunny all the time, all
Yeah.
year round, like how are you going to get that? And also, we work, like we're not getting paid to race, we're not getting paid to go to these events. So,
Yep.
unfortunately, Liv says sounds like you need to come out to Arizona in the fall and
I
winter.
want to. I really want to.
We got to do that girls trip that we keep talking about. Like, just get all the girls together. Maybe we should just all go to Liv's.
I would be down.
Sure. Yeah. So what are some challenges you have experienced during a race and how have you overcome them?
Um, well, the biggest challenge is the mental challenge of
Mhm.
before the race, feeling like I'm gonna puke and feeling like it's not worth it. It's I shouldn't be doing this. Why am I doing this? Like all of the self-doubt, all of the negative thoughts. Um, but then I remember why I'm doing it and how good I feel when I'm actually doing it, you know? So that has been extremely difficult to overcome. Then also there's the what if I fall? What if I get hurt? What if I hurt someone else? Like those kind of negative thoughts too.
Mm,
Um, I haven't really had any issues like on the track in terms of like with other people, like bumping heads or bumping shoulders or getting too close or taking the wrong line and screwing someone up or something along
mhm.
those lines. So that's good. Um,
Yeah.
it's just more so it's just a me problem that I kind
Mm,
of just have to overcome, which is fine, I guess. It just feels a little bit it's a little bit more challenging to solve, I guess, because it's internal as opposed to external.
mhm.
So that's probably the biggest thing, and then just also not getting too worked up, just so I don't push myself to failure, that kind of thing. I have my expectations in a realistic kind of level as opposed to putting them too high or putting them too low. Like I know where I'm at, and I'm okay with that. So
Yeah.
I just go out there to have fun.
I like how the men are really respectful to the women on the track. And
Yeah.
also, it helps that we're all friends. So it's like no one wants to hurt their friend on the track. We all look out for each other. We're all like, oh, we don't like when we were doing time trials at TEF One, the one in SoCal. And
Mhm.
Christina Clark is like right behind me in time trials, but I see she doesn't want to pass me because she tells me all the time, I don't like to pass. I'm scared of hurting my friend. And I looked and I'm like, go ahead, because I didn't want to mess up her time. She's a lot faster than me, so I totally understand that. And also, I don't know how you eat before a race. I'm like, I wish I can eat salads.
It's either I eat and I take the gamble of feeling like poop or not feeling like poop, or
Mhm.
I don't eat and then I definitely feel like poop. So
Yeah.
it's just I my stomach will eat itself alive. I can't not.
Yes, I agree. Oh, I'll take y'all on some long endurance rides. Yes,
Now
please, because I don't think I ride enough. What is setting conversations after the checkered before getting off the track? Brett is asking.
after the checkered, So
Yeah.
sorry, do you mean like while we're still on the track between people on the track, like racers? Or are you talking about conversations?
I guess that's what is setting conversations after the checkered before getting off the track.
Because
I
that
guess
if it's between racers, then it always depends on who's racing at that moment and if they decide to wait for you. It was really nice though after my first race at ABS that Maribel and everyone else, all the other girls, they were waiting for me at the end. It was kind of nice that I wasn't just getting off the track by myself.
right after the race, before exiting.
Everyone's just sharing the love.
Yeah.
It's goodness.
Oh, Roger's here. Hi. Yes, Liv says need the calories for energy. Absolutely. Because when I don't eat, I don't have energy to stay on my wheel.
Yeah, that's really what it is. I get too tired without food.
Yes, 99% of our worries and doubts are in the mind and rarely come to fruition. But we don't find out until we quiet the mind and just do it. You're right, crying hippie. That is true. Very, very true.
Roger.
Yeah, Roger's here. Okay, so the next question I had for you was what gear recommendations do you have for like other women? Because I know that's a huge problem for someone when you're petite.
I'm closer to child size than adult size, what I've learned. But the problem is the children's stuff doesn't really fit me because and waist and proportions and whatever. So I tend to go for stuff that has a narrow frame. So I chose my there it is. I chose my HJC helmet because it has smaller frames. My head, I learned, is a double XS, so it's not even XS, it's double XS. That's a thing. I didn't know that. But yeah, so my head is 52 around, so it's hard to find helmets that actually fit. I use the Alpine Stars. I use the Alpine Stars chest, shoulder, back protection, and then I switch between the Fox elbows, and then I switch between the Alpine Stars elbows. And then I use wrist guards with a double brace, one on top, one on bottom, because I am not injuring my wrists again. They will. My doctor pretty much told me if I do my wrists again, then I will have more lasting issues than I already have. So I'm like, no, thank you. I wear the Liat knee guards. Those are really good. They saved my legs when I was sliding on them after my accident. So thank you. I switched over to motorcycle shoes, so I'm now using the TCX motorcycle shoes. They're street shoes or Street Shoe 3 or something like that. And then for pants, I'm wearing Ride Rich. They're like denim jean jogger things with like a bunch of pockets. It's great. And they have Kevlar lined on inside, and then they have hip protection as well. So I feel like I'm mostly good. The only thing I'm really missing is the kidney kind of protection for the bottom half of the hips, or sorry, the upper half of the hips area. But everything else is pretty much just covered. Oh, and a neck brace. I don't wear a neck brace. I probably should, but I don't.
I see that like Zach wear them, especially for like off-road racing, which I feel like is way more intense because you can hit a rock, you can hit a tree. I think street racing, I don't think I've ever seen anyone break a collarbone in street racing, but you know, it's always good to have and not need it.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, very true. So what team do you race for currently?
Currently I am racing for E-Rider Racing. Hold on. Where is it? E-Rider Racing.
E-Rider Racing. So that is your team. Will you guys be getting new team jerseys, or you're still going to be rocking the Toronto E-Riders?
I honestly don't know. I think we're going to be sticking with the Toronto E-Rider jersey, probably because it's known and everyone like recognizes it already, but don't quote me on that. I have no idea. But yeah, so far just E-Rider Racing. It's kind of like a unofficial sponsorship kind of thing. Not really, because like Brett is more of a coach than anything. It's his kind of business kind of idea thing, but he's more of like a mentor to me. He's not he's not paying for my races. He's not paying for anything that I'm doing, but he is coaching me, and that has been very important, especially for my starts. The reason my starts are so good is partially because of him.
Yes, Brett. I've always seen Brett when he's with the Toronto E-Riders, how much he's supporting you guys. Like,
Yeah.
at EasyCon, one thing that stood out for me the most was when Karen had fallen off her e-skate, and he just sat there and he was like, listen, collect yourself, breathe. Like, you have a lot of time to catch up. Like, you have a lot, like a big lead. Like, just take it easy, breathe. Like, because he doesn't want to see you guys get hurt. And I could see that he cares a lot about his team. And I think that it's just like so heartwarming. I'm just like, oh, go Brett.
Yeah, he's really, really good with that.
Yes.
It's very grounding.
Yeah. So how has your team supported you during your races? Because I went to when we were at the first half, I remember you got off the track and I see them grab your wheel, go to charge for you, bring you food. I'm like, look at her. She looks like she's a NASCAR racer coming off the track, and all her team is just like, getting her all prepped and ready for the next round.
I wouldn't necessarily call that like our team, right? Sponsored team. It's more of just Toronto
Community.
riders as a whole, right? It's the people who show up to these races from Toronto. We all genuinely like each other for the most part. Like, there might be a few people that like are out of it, but like for the most part, we all enjoy each other. We all hang out. We all kind of just see each other as friends. So B-Ry helping me out, Ian helping me out, Karen helping me out. Like, it's just, they would do it for me. They do it for other people. They do it for each other. We do it. Like, it's just what goes around comes around, pretty much. Like, we're just a family in that sense. So I wouldn't say it's a team thing. I'd say it's a family community kind of thing.
And how and those are usually the people you travel with when you're going from Toronto to a lot of the US events.
Yes. Brett and Karen have been around with me going to pretty much everything. I mean, they started it first. They went to EasyCon, and then I'm like, that looks cool. I want to do this too. And we all kind of just ended up in the same boat together, and we all like hanging out. So it really works out.
Yeah, I love that. What is the farthest you've traveled for a race?
I mean, I drove to Vegas I didn't drive. I did not drive. Ian and Otto, they did the driving. We drove to Vegas. It was great. So many good views. We drove through Missouri. We drove through Denver, Colorado. We said hi to Seth. We stayed with him. It was probably like 4,000, 5,000 kilometers, like round trip. I have no idea. I'm just guesstimating there. Probably closer to 4,000, but that's a long time. That was 3 days pretty much of straight driving. No messing around really. We kind of just had a little bit of fun in Denver, and then we went on our way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brett just said a race team provides support that comes to reality in so many more ways than financial. I want to prove that with E-Rider Racing. I have faith we can coach riders to the podium. Brett, you and Doug have the same mindset because Doug is also starting to coach. I think we're starting to see a few racers shift to coaching now, like Mario. Mario came over to coach us. I think that was really cool. So it's really nice to see the guys stepping up and being like, we're going to like help out others.
It's very useful because these are people who are extremely good at what they're doing, and they're taking the time out of their day or out of their whatever to actually teach instead of gatekeeping this information, right?
Yeah.
It's no fun if they just hog all the fun lines and fun tips for themselves, right?
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking when you have a really good racer like tracking you and then being like, hey, like this is what you need to do better. Like it's nerve-wracking, but it's good at the same time because you're being trained by one of the best, you know? So what has been your favorite event and why?
I am torn. I really okay, so I have to choose two. So I really like Amped because Amped is family, Amped is community, Amped is just show up kind of thing. Show up and try. That's what Amped means for me. Show up and just do your best, and you'll learn so much from other people who are also doing their best. And hey, there happens to be a prize if you win. Yeah. That's how I see Amped. I probably should take it more seriously, but I don't. Like, I really enjoy it, and for me it's fun, it's engaging, it's community. I see the racing aspect of it secondary to the community and the learning and the enjoyment. And then I have TEF, which feels a lot more like pro race, like just get on the track, heart pumping kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Amped also has that feeling for me as well, but there's so much more than just racing at Amped for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like both of those events, partially because of the people that show up to them and the experience that you get from it, but also because of how they take care of their racers while there as well. Amped feels like just there's always someone there with you and pushing you to do well, and then TEF just, I don't know, it's just a different sort of fast track kind of feeling. So both of those, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun at the rail yard too at Amped. It's like
yes,
I
forgot about that too. The rail yard also. It's just there's so many things to do at Amped. You can go do trails for hours. You can take a course and learn how to jump better. You can go to the rail yard. You can just go down Thunderdome a million times. It's great.
I think Amped has a special place in my heart too, because like one of the first events I went to where I got to meet like Liv and I got to meet Javier and I got to meet Nadia and like I got to meet Mike and Doug, and like you end up meeting a lot of great people through this event, and it's really nice to see how you come out a better rider as well. Like I came back home after riding trails at Amped. I was like, oh my gosh, like my wheel feels like nothing now.
Yes. Yeah. I completely agree. I learned a lot about off-roading when it came to Amped as well. Wheel Life Rally I also enjoyed because it was like that as well. But it felt more intimate at Wheel Life Rally because it was a smaller group of racers.
Yeah, I really wanted to go to that one, but it always falls around the time where it's my son's birthday. So it's like I can't justify going and not, I'm like, I got to spend time with my child. So maybe one day we'll just go as a family. But Brett said Amped is community. I've met some of the most wonderful people because of Amped. Many are here. Tough one is racing. Couldn't agree more, Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, which events are you most excited for in the coming year? Because now I feel like there's more coming up.
So I'm definitely going to Quebec, the Quebec Electric Games, because, Canada, got to support that.
That's in July, right?
That's July 11th, I think. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's that weekend. So there's that. And then obviously Amped, I'm very, very, very excited for. That's going to be great. Can't miss that. Then there's the TEF1 event. I think it's in Sonoma. I'm pretty sure. They're just not really sure on the dates. My biggest event that I would want to go to though is the Malaysia race. And the problem is funds. So I can't afford to do that. I just bought my Apex. I can't afford to spend another Apex price right now, especially when I'm still trying to save up to move out. So I told myself if I could somehow get some sort of like sponsorship or something along those lines, then I would consider going. But it's so difficult to actually get yourselves out there or whatever. And then also there's the aspect of flying, and that's like a huge trip in itself. So.
And did you do your race profile so we can post?
I did.
Okay. Did you send that to Nelson? Because we really want to like link it to the channel.
I did send it. Hold on one second.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen, too, for giving that information to the girls. I think it's really helpful, and hopefully you can get some help with funds, getting to events, or just like if one day you just want to ship your wheel and not try.
Hold on one second. Now I can't find you. Hold on. Where did you go? Oh, there you are. Okay.
I think Nelson pulled it up. I think that's your profile.
Yeah.
So thank you to Karen for letting the girls know about this. Racers can set up their profile, and then anyone can sponsor you or give you funds for something. So I'm really glad you did that, because you deserve all the support, Shira, and I hope you really get it. And who knows, maybe someone might sponsor you to go to Malaysia. You never know.
Broke. It would be great.
I know the flight tickets are expensive. My friend Reese, she rides EEC as well, and she had to work in Malaysia for 3 weeks. She said you can the flight itself is expensive, but once you get there, $100 goes a long way. She said $100 lasted her 3 weeks. So Yeah, it's cheap there, but getting there is costly. So that's the only thing.
This entire hobby is very costly in itself. So it's just
Yeah.
it's no surprise, right?
Yes. Do you feel women have it harder at these events?
Yes and no. I definitely feel like just riding the wheel in general is more difficult, just as a woman with the different center of gravity and just with these wheels being so large. But then you see EUC girl who pretty much can do anything, right? So it's just like I think it's just more so a skill issue than actually like anything else, right? So like that's why I'm really trying to train. I'm really trying to work out and just trying to get myself to see if I can actually do it. If it's me, if it's the wheel, if it's like what's going on, how can I make this work?
Yeah.
Right?
And you just got a new wheel, so don't beat yourself up too much. Like it's a lot. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like you have to ride your wheel for at least 1,000 miles to really feel like you're in tune with your wheel, you know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm only like maybe 500 kilometers in, not even. And I still haven't figured out like my proper pad setup. Like I'm fine when I go on the racetrack, not racetrack. I'm fine when I go at our intro to speed, right? But then I take my Apex on the road and it feels entirely different. I don't know if it's because it's the road or if it's just my brain or something, but for some reason I have trouble actually opening it up. So I
And
think
you're practicing in parking lots, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen like some parking lots have like little divots or there's some
That's
like
great. We've got the parking lot lines as well that have just been painted over a million times, so they're adding a little bit of slipperiness as well.
no. Yeah. When we ran Intro to Speed in New York, we didn't really have a lot of places to practice. So Turbo and I and Jules would go earlier and like maybe we'd get a handful of people to help us, but we'd sit there for like an hour and a half picking up the nails and sweeping all the gravel and like trying to get all the debris off the track so that no one's getting hurt. It's a lot of work that goes into running these Intro to Speeds.
It is. It is.
Yeah, Brett said that paint so slippery. Yeah. Got to figure out like maybe putting something down to like give it a little bit more traction. I don't know.
It's a little hard.
Yeah, that is hard. It's extra work. So what's your preference when you're racing, off-road or street racing?
Definitely street. Just because I feel like I have more traction, so therefore I am more safe, even though I know it's a lie. It's all just the same. It's all dangerous. It's all just fun, dangerous stuff. But I really enjoy how I feel when I am off-roading in a different way because I know that I'm pushing through that fear. So while I prefer street racing and stuff like that, I still very much so enjoy the off-road aspect.
Yeah.
But street
it's so funny because you have people who swear by off-road and then you have people who swear by street. And I just think it's a matter of like learning both, like how much you train with both. I like them both for different reasons as well. So I don't know if I gravitate towards one than the other, but yeah, I feel like with street, you just have less things to worry about. Whereas if you're going off-road, you have to worry about like when I raced at Northwest Electric Fest, there was like random twigs and stuff. Like people, I guess, like fell into the trees and broke off branches. So Mia was picking up the branches so I wouldn't get hurt. It was so funny.
That's very nice of her. That's very, very nice of her.
Yeah. Crying Hippie said, in the last 2 years, I watched your confidence skyrocket tenfold from community engagement, group writing, and her career workload. It seems her anxiety and mental health is on course for more success. Yes, we all see that, Crying Hippie. I think Shira is one of like the people I tell to look out for and to see where you started to where you are now. The evolution of your writing has been really incredible. So
thank you.
I commend you for that. Trying to balance and juggle everything. So who inspires you?
Definitely. I mean, you've got the big names. You've got Maribel. You've got Show. You've got Zach. You've got Aaron. All those lovely people are great people. But then you've got the people.
She'll be back. But in the meantime, yes. Liv says, Chrissy, you got to get out with grace. Your trails out in Portland are amazing. I am not a trail rider, but I really enjoyed in Oregon. Yes, I am starting to do trail riding with Grace.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't know what overloading it or something. But yeah, you've got Brett, you've got B-Rai, you've got Seb, who doesn't really come out to things anymore. But all those people close to home are people that I have really looked up to. Oh, and Declan. I can't forget about Declan.
Yes.
Lovely people that are just they've constantly told me from day one, you just got to shut your brain off. You gotta just push, just send it to a degree. Just do it safely and know your limits, but also push a little bit out of them every time, right?
I think it also means a lot that some of the big names that, you know, they can gatekeep all their best practices, but they actually go out and they give you advice and they tell you like what to and what not to do. So that's really important for new racers.
Yes.
So which EUC community members would you hope to meet and ride with in the future?
You know, this one I haven't really thought about. I've never actually done a group ride with Maribel. I think that'd be really cool. Or a group ride with like Show and whatnot. All those like Bay Area kind of like West Coast kind of people. I'd love to do a group ride with them. I've only really done the Mount Baldy ride really with like Roger and them. And that was fun as heck, just like chasing everybody throughout the mountains. It was hard though. I was on a wheel that I wasn't really comfortable with. Because every time we go to these West Coast events, for the most part, other than Vegas, like the one time we drove, I'm borrowing a wheel, right? So I'm having to figure this shit out on the day of race day, and then just kind of just like, okay, figure it out, set your pads, go.
Oh no, it's stressful.
It's stressful. It's fun though. It's different. It's made me a lot more adaptable. I raced at TEF1 last year with one half a pad on top. So I had the power knobs, and then I had half of an extra power knob on one part. I was just like, I don't need it. I've got the one. I'm good. So it's taught me. Wow, I'm a teacher. Okay,
it happens.
It's taught me how to really just like do good with the circumstances that have been given to me. So I'd really like, so back to the people I want to ride with. Also, Leanne. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but in Spain, she's phenomenal. She blows me away every time I see her videos. Constantly pushing herself, like crashing too, and just getting right back up and keeping on going. And that's a mentality that I really respect, because I feel like if I were to crash on the racetrack, I don't know how I'd react. Maybe I'd cry. Maybe I'd get back up. I don't know. I haven't had it yet. So.
As someone who has crashed both off-road and street racing, I think at first when you've crashed, you do want to just say, screw this and get off the track. But then you see how far you've come and you're like, no, mama didn't raise no quitters. I'm going to finish. Unless you get severely hurt that you broke a bone or something, I think you would definitely get back up. And I just wanted to special shout out Turbo, because there was 2 times where you were on the track and you had really bad wobbles, and he said there was something going on with your tire. And I was just like so grateful for that, because like I just was like, I don't want to see my friend get hurt. Like, how can you fix her wheel?
He literally, if it wasn't for him noticing that my wheel had a problem, I would have probably had an issue on that racetrack. Right? Because the tire wasn't seated correctly. So that's why I was getting these wobbles. And I'm just like, oh, this is normal, right? I just got to push through this. This is a me problem. This isn't a wheel problem. But it was a wheel problem. So
I know. Well, that was like so scary. And it's like, it's so good that we have writers that are able to recognize those issues and then get a group of people to come together and be like, this is how we're going to fix it, so that she doesn't, she has a smooth day on the track.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really should know more, and I know that I should know more, but like I don't know more. But I don't know how to negotiate these wheels. Like something goes wrong, I'm kind of just like at a loss. I don't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard for me. My brain just doesn't really like pick up that kind of stuff very well. So I don't really have an interest in trying to learn how to fix my stuff. I kind of just want to take it to someone else and have them fix it, which works until it doesn't. So.
And don't forget to do wheel maintenance in between each race, even on like a big ride. That is so important.
I have a funny story on that. I was riding my e-skate. I took it around the block for about like 5 kilometers, whatever it was. And then I noticed at the end of my ride that my battery was dipping down because it wasn't attached.
Oh
So
no.
race maintenance and stuff, yeah, very
Yeah.
important. Check your stuff before you ride it. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, when I crashed at Northwest, I was lucky that, Turbo knows how to fix wheels. And so he opened up my wheels and I had so many loose screws and he had to like replace the screws with like longer screws. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, husband.
You don't, if you're not raised or learning about this or whatever, if you don't have an interest in it, then it's hard for you to actually like get that information, right? Because if you don't know, you don't know.
You have to start talking to Roger because he's always like Frankensteining his wheels. Like he takes them apart, puts them together, mods them. That's a good person to learn from.
Yeah.
And Show would probably also be a really good person to learn from.
Oh, really? Okay.
Brett knows a thing or two, You got a bunch of people you can learn from. I have to start doing the same thing, honestly. It's so bad. My husband's always like, you have to learn. You should learn. And I'm like, eventually.
It's just, I like to ride. I don't want to fix. I want to ride.
Yeah. Speaking of riding, if you could ride anywhere in the world, where would it be? Like anywhere?
I kind of want to ride in BC, just because we've got all this nice mountain area kind of stuff and nice bike trails and lots of hills and lots of nice like scenery and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. Or I don't know, just anywhere along the water. I always tend to gravitate towards that kind of thing, just because I don't have ocean anywhere. Like I'm in Toronto. I'm very much surrounded by land. So it's just, I'd really like to take it out to an ocean path or something like that. Just ride. I'm not picky. I just give me a view. I'm happy. That's fine. Give me friends and a view.
Come to the West Coast so we can take you along the coast.
Red Rock was beautiful. Just watching what's on the screen, Red Rock was incredible.
Yeah, definitely come back. Come back for a non-EUC event. So you could spend time just riding everywhere. And then you could do all the group rides and go to Maribel's Intro to Speed.
That's a bucket list goal, going to one of her Intro to Speeds.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to actually learn from her like that.
Yes, exactly. So I'm gonna just so we have Roger saying Turbo is a sweet guy. Everyone around seems to be great. You guys too. Thank you, Roger. We love having Roger around. I 100% recommend when you get your wheel looked at, anything fixed, to hang out and learn what should be checked. Yes.
I've learned how to do a tire change. I can do it. It takes me 6 hours. I can do it.
She's like, it takes a long time, but I could do it. Brett says he agrees. He says we hook up with EVs and go to BC.
Yes, please. I'm down. Just say the word. Just say the word.
Yes, e-skate life. Everything is always falling apart. And your remotes disconnect. That's so scary to me. I'm like, I don't think I could ride that.
No, thank you.
Yeah, Vince also is a great guy. Vince walked me through my tire change, and also we opened the whole wheel up so we can make sure everything was how it should be. Yes, Vince also is another person to learn from. Roger said he had a great time in BC. All the guys there have gotten really good. I heard the trails out in like Canada are like another level. Like the trail rating system there is way more advanced than here in the States.
I'm not sure about that one. You'd have to ask Brett or Karen. I'm really not sure. I just know that when we went to Arkansas, everything was difficult, like very, very difficult compared to what we had. But that's Arkansas, right? So Bentonville also, it's a whole level.
I asked Mia's Max because he travels a lot to Vancouver to ride trails out there. He loves trails. And he was like, yeah, the rating system is different.
Shit.
Yeah, and I think Estelita too had she was like, I went on this trail and it was supposed to be easy and it was terribly hard. And I'm like, well, noted for when I go to Canada to ride trails. Karen says Ontario considers a hill black diamond. Huh, interesting. That's interesting to know. I didn't know that.
Learn something new.
Yeah. So are you currently sponsored by anyone?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, technically, I have been sponsored by GodMod. Declan gave me a GodMod for my OG Sherman. And then he sponsored me for another one for my Sherman S. and that was very nice of him. And I noticed the difference. So to all the people who hate on it, I say that. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, no, I really enjoy it. I feel the difference when it comes to like the torquiness and whatever. So yeah, that's sponsored by Godmod.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you're getting that support from Declan. Vanessa said, Shira, I got you on the West Coast beach views. So
Yay, thank you.
yes. I lost where I was. Sorry. Okay, what are some goals you set for yourself when it comes to EEC?
Well, I've had the goal of trying to ride backwards and penduluming for about a year now. It's kind of not happened yet, but that's okay. So it's a long-term goal. But my goal is really just to see improvement. Honestly, it's just to keep pushing, keep trying, keep whatever. Because I don't want to set my goals too high, so that way I feel like they're unattainable. Because I have a tendency that when the goal is too far away, that like my brain just shuts off and it's just like, okay, it's not worth it, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to just keep showing up, keep trying, keep having a good time. You know, it's just baby steps. I'm okay with that. I don't have to accomplish everything. I'd like to get a little bit more with my off-roading and my jumping and stuff like that. I want to get air this year. That would be nice if I could actually, you know, not just get like this much air, but get maybe that much air, you know, just not to be so scared. That would also be nice, because like I am very much nervous every time I get on the wheel. I always think about what could go wrong. I always visualize what could go wrong, and really it's just like forgetting about that and just turning that part off, blasting some music, or just spending time with friends and just feeling that kind of groove, I guess. And it's just I'd like to get out of my head a little bit more. That would be nice.
I'm learning how to be more in the present. So I definitely understand that, because I have the same issue. Like, I'll want to ride, it's a beautiful day, and then when it's time, I get so anxious. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna play like a video game or read a book or something. So I totally understand that. Yeah. Going back to the jumping, you should hang out with Paige more, because I've seen her like improve so much.
She's getting major air. She's doing incredible. Karen too. Karen's able to clear all of those jumps that we have. We have like a jump track downtown called Sunnyside, but she started off not being able to do it, and now she's able to fully do it. So it'd just be nice to just get myself out there. The thing is, it's just I live about an hour away from anything good, so I have to travel in. I have to put my wheel in the car, or if I decide to ride down, then I have to charge my wheel once I get there, and it's a whole hassle. So it's like it's a day activity, and it's kind of hasn't really been able to happen yet, just because I'm working so much now, and I'm trying to, like, there's 11 days left of school. I am pushing. I am making sure that I'm
ready to get out of school.
Yeah, honestly, it's just like I'm doing the most of what I can just while I have until summer, right? Because then I've got 2 months of nothing, of school around, just having time. So it's just having the energy, having the willpower to actually make it out there, and pushing myself to get more. So that
I hope you get a weekend to go out there and do like maybe an intro to jumps, you know, like
that would be nice.
Yeah.
It's just now until, I don't know, we've got so many things that are booked. Like next week we're doing our pride parade. So we're helping with that. That's something we've done. This will be our second time doing it. Then I think the weekend after, I don't know if there is anything, but I feel like there was. I don't know, but it just feels like every single weekend just ends up
something.
Yeah. It's difficult.
Yeah, I bet. Like it you do seem to get booked up quickly. I find myself overlapping plans, and I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta start writing things down in my calendar.
I've got an agenda. I started using one. It's great. I don't double book anymore.
Yeah, I gotta be more proactive with that. But yeah, are there any events overseas you would like to attend one day? I know there's like Race for the Highlands in Scotland, I believe. I think Nelson's been to that one.
I mean, all the stuff in Spain looks really cool. That would be really nice to go to. Then there's obviously the Malaysia race, you know. That's I kind of missed. I wish I went to the China one last year, but it just wasn't in the cards. I'd spent so much money on other races, so it really just didn't work out. But
It
yeah,
was hard
so
for a lot of people, that one though, because like they announced it 2 months before the event, and then it was around Christmas, and like a lot of people, that's a family holiday. Not a lot of
yeah,
people want to, and then travel around Christmas is ridiculous. It is so crazy. Like ticket prices are like doubled around Christmas time. I tried to send my nephew back to New York for like after Christmas, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna have to happen like in January.
yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard. And then I know once I get my own teaching gig, if I decide to go down that route, then that'll be the only time that I have. So it's kind of just, it's frustrating, right? So that's why I'm kind of just like doing the most that I can before I accept like a full-time position or whatever while I'm still supplying. So
Have you thought about international teaching, like going overseas to teach? Because I see all these programs for it.
I really have, but I can't leave my family. I am so codependent when it comes to that, and it's just I'd feel terrible about going anywhere. I've got a large family. My dad is one of 5. My mom's one of 3. Like
And
there's
you just had a little niece or nephew, right?
yeah, I've got a niece. She's 3, and then I've got a nephew. He's 2 months, 3 months. I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that. But it's just my family would never. They'd never let me live it down if I were to leave them and go somewhere else, and I would just be feeling lost if I wasn't with my family and my friends. So
That was the hardest about leaving home when I left New York to come to the West Coast. And like,
yeah,
it was hard. It was hard. Seasonal depression was like extra for me over the holidays. So I definitely get it. It's easier said than done.
yeah.
So which EUC has been your favorite out of like all the ones you've owned?
So it depends on purpose. I love my Sherman S. I absolutely love it. It's comfortable. It's a great cruiser, but that's what it is. It's a cruiser, right?
Mhm.
I would have to say secondary. I really enjoyed my master, especially for. I do like my Apex. I do love it, yes, but I'm still new on the Apex, right? So I'm just I'm toying around, figuring out what I can do with the Apex. I'm not quite there yet. Until further notice, I would say Sherman S, then I'd say Master, then I'd say Apex.
Mhm.
But I feel like the Apex is creeping up towards the Master just because of the use case, and I'm going to be using it for more track. I'm going to be getting more comfortable with it. I'm just not there yet. I do love it though. I really do love it. It's just the Master has been more forgiving, I guess, in terms of I don't feel like it's that new feeling. I always felt I stepped on the Master. I was comfortable from the moment. I was able to mostly push it. But the Apex has been a bit of a learning curve. So, but my Sherman S all the way. I really like the Sherman S.
What made you switch from your master to the Apex? What made you need a newer wheel?
I was getting a little bit nervous just pushing the headroom on the master. Like I knew I had more, but everyone kept telling me that it wasn't enough, that it wasn't fast enough, that it didn't have enough battery, that it wasn't good enough for whatever it was. It wasn't high enough voltage, whatever. So that's partially why I switched over. And then I knew that I needed an off-road wheel and I needed a track wheel. So I needed something for both use cases. So I felt like the logical step was to go and use the Apex for street because it had that higher headroom. And
Is
because
the voltage 168?
it is 151.
150. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then it also has the adjustable pedal height. So I was able to make it more stable or less stable depending on what I'm using it for. So I could technically switch back and forth from the Apex and the Master to being track and off road. But honestly, I'm really liking it where it is, and I think that I'm going to stick with that decision because the Master is more than enough for me when it comes to off-roading. It's perfectly, it's torquey enough, it's big enough, it's comfortable, it's good.
Yeah, I love the Master too, and I am seeing a lot of the racer shift from the 134 volt to like 168 volt wheels, and I'm like, ugh, I'm gonna have to like upgrade from my Master eventually and go to like I'll steal Turbo's X-Way. I don't know if I want to buy another wheel, but I'll take his. It's fine.
The X-Way is a big wheel, though. I've noticed it's very tall.
Well, so I don't know if you tried Lib's X-Way at EasyCon, she had it really, like, her setup was so good. I was able to get on Liv's X-Way. I could not get on Turbo. So she said that I believe Vince helped her mod her X-Way, but he was able to bring her X-Way down more. And I was like, oh my God, I can definitely do it if it's set up like this.
No, yeah, I feel that.
Because I think the X-Way also has the adjustable pedal height, because Turbo has his pedals on the max height, I believe.
He is a big boy, so.
Yes. Oh, Liv said Nick helped her set it up, so yay, Nick. Yes. Brett says a wheel is like a pair of shoes. Model and setup is everything. Yes, and the settings, messing with the settings and learning that. I'm starting to learn more about that because I was not being proactive with learning that. Vince is going to bring it down, but it currently was just suspension setup. Yes. I got the Extreme for off-road, and the Vince Fob kit it's so good. It's amazing. Very smooth on the dirt. I appreciate it. Yeah. So how have you supported your community as a writer? I know you were saying something along the lines like you guys were helping them with Pride.
So the community as a whole, as opposed to Toronto e-riders, we've done a clothing drive for people in need. We've done the marathon. We've done the Toronto Marathon, which we marshaled for that. So we did the 5K and the 10K, and then when the full marathon and those people came down, we helped them as well. So we didn't just stay for what we needed to do. We kind of helped with everything as well. Mm-hmm. So pretty much it was just like if anyone needed water, if anyone needed medical assistance, we were able to move back and forth and make sure. But I also helped track the lead female runner for that as well. So that was pretty cool. It was difficult, but it was pretty cool. And then another thing that we help with is we've done gear swaps for the Toronto e-rider community as well. So just making sure that if anyone has any things to sell, then we'll do that. And then we've also done Pride for 2 years in a row now. So this will be the second year. We're pretty much, again, we're using our PEVs with the police, with the people, the organizers. Everyone is on board, and we are using them to kind of like run back and forth and help people to make sure that they're in the right spot, that they're not missing their deadline, that they're moving when they need to be moving, and everyone's like marching because it's a very much go, go, go kind of procedure. But yeah, so we've done a lot to help the community, I feel, but there's definitely more that we can do. It's just difficult to kind of get the regular public looking at these unicycles, looking at these PEVs and being like, this is a positive thing, as opposed to what the heck is that? So it's just
I was going to ask you that too. Like, how does the community respond to you guys being there to help?
A lot of them think, wow, that's really, really cool. But then there's some people who are just like, oh, make sure you don't go too fast on that thing. And we're just like, we're not. We're just chill. We're helping out. We're here to help. But there's always going to be some people stuck in their ways. But for the most part, it's been positive reception all around. Mm-hmm. There's only been like 1 or 2 people who are like, no, thank you. So it's great though.
I love that you guys are doing things for the community, and I know it's greatly appreciated. Even though some people might not reciprocate it in that way, but kudos to you guys for doing what you can to help out the community, and don't burn yourselves out trying to do more than what you guys are able to do. Because I know the burnout is real sometimes. You know, pat yourself on the back sometimes. Yes. Liv says the Toronto community is dope for supporting local events. Yes, I think it is so fun watching them just like help everyone out and making sure everyone's okay. Some people are like, how did you get the right to? Well, yeah.
It helps that at least for the Pride event and the marshalling event, we've had someone who's already on the inside and they happen to ride and they're just like, hey, I have this thing. It's really cool. It could help us run logistics wise. And then they're feeding us in. So we wouldn't have been able to get into the marathon or Pride if it had not been for those individuals.
Yeah, so hats off to those individuals that are helping.
Agreed.
So Shira, do you have any other hobbies that you enjoy and love besides PEV?
I mean, video games, definitely video games.
Yeah.
I'm currently playing Skyrim again.
Did you get the new Switch yet?
Not yet, just because I barely touched my old Switch. I still have to finish Tears of the Kingdom. Like, it's just, I'm working on it. My Steam Deck is occupying my time a lot more so.
Yes, Liv is like video games. Yes, video games is just a good escape from reality sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
I am with you there. I have to finish Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm back to playing The Last of Us Part 2.
I started part 1 again because I wanted to experience it again.
I did too. Like, I played it like a few weeks ago. It's so short. It is so short compared to Part 2. But Part 2, I like Part 1, but Part 2 was just it was a longer game and it was very fast paced. So that was fun. Yeah. So my closing question for you, Shira, is what is some advice you can offer to women who want to start racing or just riding in general?
Definitely know your limit, play within it. And don't listen to the people who are telling you to full send, go right away. Just because I know that a lot of the boys' mentality is just go, go, go.
Ride the beeps.
Yeah, ride the beeps. Yeah, exactly. And that mentality, it scares out a lot of girls. That's what I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like, some of them are just like, I don't know if I'm able to keep up with the guys, so I'm just not going to show up. And they give up on that kind of idea entirely. And it's just, if you want to race, great, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just push yourself, but know what you're capable of, and just have a good time doing it. Because you're not gonna get any better if you don't eat at least a little bit of shit, right?
Yeah.
So you got to fall at least a little bit. You're gonna get hurt. It's not a matter of if, it's just when. When are you gonna get hurt, and how can you make it so that you learn from that and that you don't get too hurt in the process, right? Like, every accident, every time you fall, it's a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
And if you never have an accident, that's great. That's absolutely great. But I feel like the people who do fall tend to learn a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, just keep riding your own ride, have a good time. Don't worry about what other people think. Do your best. Show up. That's it. You'll get better if you show up.
Showing up matters. And for anyone who doesn't know, Shira was one of the girls who got on with Tough One to advocate for them opening up more classes to allow newer writers get in. Liv, Grace, Maribel, Shira, there was like a bunch of other girls too. But yes, we are advocating heavily so that amateur writers can get into the sport as well. Because like Shira said, not everyone's going to go into the sport knowing what they're doing. And it's really intimidating when you don't really know. You're seeing all these people going fast, fast, fast. And you're like, well, if I'm not at their level, why should I race? So.
Yeah, and it's also just the way to have the most safety about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're chasing after people who are always constantly in the distance, you're not learning as much as if racing with people next to you or closer to you, you know?
Yes.
You're just learning to follow other people and see their lines at 100 meters away. That doesn't help you. That doesn't make you better, right? You might just fall trying to catch up with them. And then you'll be like, why did I fall? So it's just yeah, know where you're at. And don't worry so much about what other people think, because people suck sometimes. So.
Exactly. And if you guys want to learn to ride and you're in the Toronto area, I believe Shira helps run Intro to Speed in Toronto. So feel free to message Shira.
It is not just me though who helps with that. There's a group of us who run. We don't always. I mean, yes, it is Intro to Speed, but depending on who's hosting it, we call it kind of different things. So we've got Jen, we've got Brett, we've got Karen, we've got me. We all kind of like work together and kind of host. If someone's available to host, we host it. It's not really like a owned by or like run by this specific person. It's very much like everything we do in Toronto. It's very much just community driven, community for the community. So.
Yes, exactly. Well, I just wanted to thank you for being on here. It was really nice talking to you. Roger says Shira's spot on and get better when I ride with people just a bit faster than me. I hope to find one someday. Yes, Roger, you'll find someone to outdo you, I'm sure. Wow, Roger. Well, I just wanted to say thank you again, and thank you to everyone who came in to watch. We greatly appreciate the support, and I believe the link for Shira's writer profile will be up on the channel as well. So if you guys want to help Shira and help sponsor her get to some of these amazing events, please feel free to do so. And follow her on social media if you're not.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank
Like-
you.